Hi, I'm Libra. Welcome to your September 2019 Astrology 33 reading, and happy early birthday to those of you who do celebrate towards the end of September. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And also, before I forget, I'm actually not going to be offering personal readings, most likely until the time when I post the October videos. So I'll let you guys know for sure if I am resuming them when I do post those videos. But most likely that's when I will resume. And also the love reading should be up around Labor Day weekend, most likely. All right, just wanted to get that out of the way. Now, focusing on your main spread, we have a 10-card Celtic Cross. You did get an extra card in the position of the present. And you guys got 3 Oracle cards from the Spirit Animal Oracle, so there's going to be a lot to read there. And I also pulled one for the Wisdom of the Oracle, as always, and a Mudra card. So there's plenty to get to. Let's get started with your main spread. In the position of your influence on the situation, or rather the main situation, we have the Page of Wands. So the main thing I'm seeing with this can be a continuation of that vibe I was getting for you guys last month, where I was getting this vibe that some of you were going to be making a big move, possibly overseas. Can be a continuation of that. But to me, I see this almost more as like just a striking out on your own vibe in general, whether that be to move overseas or just, maybe just taking a big trip, or maybe even just putting yourself first. Maybe you're more accustomed to putting others first, and maybe now, for whatever reason, you're just in this mode where you're like, you know what, I'm going to do what I want to do, and, just see what happens, being in a bit more of a risk-taking mood. Maybe not to the extent of the Fool, right, but this is still close to that energy, in my opinion. And it's interesting, too, because, you're going to have a lot of planets coming into your sign around the middle of the month, really, is when it starts. Mercury and Venus get there pretty much together. And that could be part of it, too. You guys are Venus ruled, so maybe that'll have you feeling more like at home and feeling like yourselves. And then the Sun, obviously, you get there. But what's interesting is Mars will be in your 12th house all throughout September. So I would have been a little less surprised to see this pop up for you guys in October, but for some reason it just seems like you're in that mode right now. Taking action, putting yourself first, and, doing your thing, basically. In the Challenger Obstacle position, we have the 7 of Wands. So this looks like whatever decision it is that you're making, it might make some people around you unhappy, and you might have to defend yourself. The good thing is with the 7 of Wands, it does look like you will end up victorious, quote unquote, if that is how it plays out. But, this represents standing your ground. And like I always say, I view it as a combination of Sun and Jupiter energy, where, you do have the higher ground there. So there is some luck, even if you do have a lot of opposition regarding this move. And, to be fair, that could be what it is, too. Maybe you are set on making this move, but maybe this is saying that it's a challenge for you to stand up for yourself, and maybe that has to do, maybe that's where that Mars in the 12th energy comes into play. But I don't really get that. I'm actually getting more of a vibe that you are going to be able to do this successfully. So that's what I'm saying. Something's going on that'll lit a fire under you guys, but that's what I'm seeing there primarily in the Challenger Obstacle position. And like I said, we have like 80 Oracle cards to get through later, so maybe they'll give a little more insight on what in particular this is regarding. But that's what I see, some kind of decision you're making, which I feel, regardless of how it's playing out, it's putting yourself first in some kind of way, and other people might not be used to that, and therefore they're upset about it, but we know whose problem that would be, right? Not yours. So in the foundation position, we have the Queen of Pentacles. This is a court card for Capricorn, which is your 4th house. So this could just be reevaluating your home environment. Maybe you've put a lot of time and work into it. So maybe that's part of it, right? Maybe that could be even just an internal battle for some of you around moving, because maybe I have really firm roots here. I've been here for a while. I've built up a lot here over time. So maybe that's, for some of you at least, still being on the fence with yourself about, do I want to make this big move or not? For others of you, this could represent wanting to build firm roots, right? So maybe you've always rented, or maybe this has been the energy you've been in a lot, right? Which is bouncing around all over the place with that Page of Wands. And maybe now, the challenge, quote unquote, for you is to establish roots, right? Maybe to buy your first house, for example. You're like, you know what? I moved from city to city all the time, but for whatever reason, I'm feeling the need to plant roots in this particular city. Maybe you've been traveling from city to city, you found one you fell in love with, and you're like, all right, I want to build roots in this area. And maybe it's away from your family and friends, and they might be upset about it, but you just feel called to make that move. In the past position, we have the Six of Pentacles. So this is actually a Taurus card, represents the middle 10 degrees of Taurus. So hasn't really been anything going on there for a while. I mean, Uranus hasn't officially gotten into those degrees yet. So this could just represent more of the energy that you were in. Maybe you always were looking out for others, right? And maybe, like I said, maybe this is you now changing out of that energy a bit and having a bit more of an independent streak. Maybe you were doing well, right? And maybe there were some in your environment who weren't doing as well, and you always made sure to look out for them. And maybe for whatever reason, you're just coming to the realization that, you know what, I need to put myself first, right? With that Queen of Pentacles energy, and as much as you might have enjoyed doing it at the time, now you're just realizing it's time for me to look toward building myself up, basically, right? In the present position, we have the King of Swords and the Tower card. So this is actually a court card of Aquarius, but this could totally be your energy too. And what I would say all right, there's a couple ways I see this playing out with the Tower. For some of you, this could have been something around that Aquarius full moon that we just had. I'm recording this on the 18th of August. So, we just had the full moon a few days ago in Aquarius. So it could just be something there where you came to some kind of realization, maybe putting others first was to your own detriment, right? Maybe that's what you've come to the realization about. For others of you, this could just represent you taking on that energy, causing a Tower moment for others. And when I say that energy, sorry, I should point out what I mean by that. A bit more of a detached energy, but at the same time, really digging your feet in, right? Because Aquarius energy is fixed energy after all. So this could be you really standing your ground and, that throwing some people for a loop. Like, nope, this is what I'm going to do. Like I said, whether it's you saying, you're not going to be helping people out anymore because you have to focus on your own stuff for a while, or making some kind of a big move that they might see as a bit rebellious, right, with the Aquarius energy, and you're just like, well, this is what I'm doing, and you guys can deal with it, So like I said, that could be causing a little bit of upheaval. So for most of you, I really do feel like this is your energy, even though this is an Aquarius card. But yes, for some of you, you could absolutely be dealing with an Aquarius too that might cause that Tower moment for you or you to them. But I really feel like for the vast majority of you, this is just your energy right now. You're coming off a bit more detached and just really putting yourself first and not worrying about others as much as usual. In the near future position, we have the Three of Cups in reverse. So to me, this energy here, well, I hate talking about it when they're in reverse. It just looks distracting for some reason. But with this coming up in reverse, this could just represent, again, that same kind of energy where, some people talk third party, this, that, and the other. I don't really see that when I see this card. I actually see this as a combination of the moon and Pluto energy. So to me, these are like long-standing emotional connections, whether it be friends, maybe even family members. With that in reverse, this could just be saying that you're leaving them behind. Now, maybe because you're moving, right? Or maybe there's just a certain pattern you've been stuck in with these people, right? And maybe you're outgrowing that. And maybe that's what you're letting them know. Like, look, I have other things I want to do. Like, let's just look at a real world example, right? Maybe you have your sights set on going on this big vacation, right? And you're like, I have to save up money for it. But maybe you go out with your friends every weekend, right? You go out partying and you're letting them know. So this is definitely a small scale thing. I really do feel it's bigger than this, but I want to give like a practical example. So you're like, look, I have to save up money for this trip. I'm not going to be coming out and partying with you guys this month. I got to save up money. I'm trying to make this big vacation, maybe even to Egypt, right? Because I always think of those as like the pyramids, even though they look tiny in that picture. But it could even be something like that. Like, I want to make this trip So I can't really be out partying this month, maybe they're disappointed by that, but you're like, well, again, putting yourself first, right? For those of you, if this is leaving behind family, not maybe not in a contentious way, but you're just saying to them, hey, I really feel called to move to this area, to this country, to the city, whatever. And, they might be disappointed, maybe even because some of them might have even relied on you quite a bit, right? And maybe you're just like, well, yeah, I need to make this move. I feel compelled to do it, and you're just doing it. And the position of your influence on the situation, we have the Death card, and this is a Scorpio energy, so that would be your second house. So again, this could just be you really focusing on your finances, right? And maybe just shifting in that way. And again, with the Death card, this could just be representing a change for you, saying that, look, I'm not putting others first, right? I'm looking out for myself. So to others around you, they might see it like this drastic departure, but most likely this is something you've given thought to for a while, especially if this is a continuation from last month's reading, too, like I said. So, you know, and for some, you just can't even represent progression, too, because Libras, you progress into Scorpio energy. So that could be what this is around. But yeah, that's really what I'm seeing there, where you guys are just really like, well, I'm leaving all that other stuff behind, moving forward, and people can deal with it too. Kind of taking on that attitude where you're not, taking others into consideration as much as you have. And it's crazy because in a way it sounds selfish, but it isn't, But again, for people who are used to Libras, who are always taking others' thoughts and feelings into consideration, for them, that could really throw them for a loop. And then we have the King of Cups at the bottom of the deck too, which is also a Scorpio energy. So that could definitely be the vibe that you're in, whether, like I said, it is strictly due to finances or just, the mood that you're in. And let's not forget, since this, Scorpio is the natural ruler of the eighth house, you do have Uranus traveling through your eighth house as well. So that could be what's bringing that about as well. So in the environment position, we have the World card. So this represents a completion of a cycle. Saturn energy, which Saturn will be moving direct again in your fourth house. And on top of that, I also view this as a North Node card. So, you have your North Node in your 10th. So, like I was saying to you guys last month, I was getting this real vibe that you might have gotten this job offer overseas, and it might have been a really big offer. And, maybe this is you deciding to take it. But either way, this could even just be, maybe this is all centered around just putting yourself first more, right? As opposed to always putting others first. And like I said, it could be throwing people for a loop, right? With that tower underneath the King of Swords. But this could just be saying that that was a karmic lesson you had to learn, that you do need to put yourself first more often, right? As opposed to always thinking of others in all situations. Maybe not to an extreme, but at the same time to a healthy level. So, and I don't remember if I mentioned this or not, but I was going to also say for a small percentage of you, this could be like a poker face thing too, where like on the surface you're acting like you're totally cool, calm, and collected, but underneath it all you're still like a bit freaked out by the move. But if that's the case, having the World card in the environment does look like, this is something that you should be doing. So that could be a bit reassuring in that regard. And maybe this is also, especially with you guys being Libras, right? And you're almost always tied to the other in a way, whether that be a collective or whatnot. This could also be a lesson for someone in your environment, too. Like I said, maybe it's someone who has relied on you, and now you're like kind of cutting them off, and now they have to stand on their own 2 feet, But if that's the case, it looks like it's time for them to do that as well. So, pretty much a win win in that regard. In the hopes or fears position, we have the King of Pentacles. So, if we're going to take this as the Queen of Pentacles energy is where you're at right now, we could just say that this is you. Maybe you're realizing I'm really close to my goals, right? And like I said, whether it be to go on a vacation or you just want to make a move, and maybe you're like, okay, I lend friends money here and there. We go out for dinner and drinks. I pay, right? Whatever, like practical example it could be. And you're like, you know what? These little things here and there are keeping me from my ultimate goal of being at the King of Pentacles level. And, King of Pentacles being a Taurus card, which is the natural second house, again, that points to Scorpio being your second house too. So could just be reiterating that same thing, which is to say, my money versus others' money, right? Creating that clear boundary and, being able to refocus and get what you want. Some of you could actually want to be involved with the Taurus in some way as well. I have to at least put that possibility out there. And in the outcome position, we have the Ace of Cups in reverse. So for those of you who've been watching my videos for a while, you might know that I say that to me the Ace energies represents more something in the idea stage, right? Like I always see that cloud, so I think of it as something that's an idea, whereas the actual pages, like we have the Page of Wands there, is actually taking the action with that idea. So this could just be you leaving an idea behind, maybe even a relationship behind for some of you. Maybe this is you stepping away from a relationship, or maybe even just focusing on a relationship, right? Maybe you've really wanted one in the past, and now you're just like, you know what? I'm leaving it up to God, for lack of a better way of saying it. Because with the Ace of Cups in reverse, right? You're like, you know what? I'm pouring out the cup, let it, get it back up to the sky, and if something else comes back around, so be it, right? So you're kind of just letting go in that regard. So that could be what's going on there. And however weird this seems, I was just looking at that, and for some reason this popped into my head, but like an M, right? With this in reverse, it looks like an M. That could look like a lowercase t, and then almost the bird's wings almost look like another M. So that could even be another indicator saying make the move, right? So that's a really weird thing. Don't mind me, but something that popped in my head randomly there. So yeah. And again, like I said, I think this is more of you. To me, it just represents you really just striking out on your own in some way and putting yourself first. I don't think, especially since this is, again, the idea stage, and maybe even you were thinking of extending a love offer to someone, and maybe for whatever reason you decide against it because you realize you have bigger things to focus on right now. All right. The first oracle card we have is from the Wisdom of the Oracle, and it's a change in the wind, so certainly seems to support the message so far on the surface. There's the artwork, and the number is 12. Let's see what it has to say. Okay, it says essential meanings. A sense that unseen change has been initiated, preparation for a storm, awareness that your plans are not on firm ground, feeling a shift, uncertainty about which direction the winds will blow. The oracle's message: it's human nature to yearn for certainty and resist change, to want the world to remain consistent, like a zebra's stripes. Yet nothing in human experience is black and white, nor will anything remain static. The one thing guaranteed is change. Now is a time of transformation as outer conditions are temporarily moving out of sync with your desires and expectations. Stay the course and remember that even storms serve to clear the air, scatter seeds, and nourish the soil, for better things ahead. Life is about to get interesting. Anticipate it with curiosity as you wonder what is coming in on the shifting winds. The unknown is where the magic lies. So it's interesting because so far that message to me, it sounds like more like something out of your control, but I'm really getting the vibe that for the vast majority of you, you're totally in control here. It looks like you're totally the one making these moves. Maybe this could resonate for those of you where maybe this is more of a poker face for you, where you're really trying to play it cool and act detached, like, oh yeah, totally, totally good, I know what's going on, but underneath it all, you might be freaking out a little bit. But overall, the energy seems to, at least in the main spread, that is, it seems to support whatever move you're thinking of making. The relationship message says relationships go through periods where partners seem out of sync with each other and stormy emotions and moods threaten to take down the ship. Perhaps someone has a change of heart and leaves. These rough seas offer opportunities for mutual growth, a way for you to understand your own heart better and to know what you need to truly be happy. Rest assured that whatever is happening now, good will come from it. Take temporary shelter and remove yourself from drama. The air will clear and everything will be fresh and new again. This too shall pass. So, for some of you, that can represent maybe the Ace of Cups in reverse. Maybe you guys hit a little bit of a rough patch in a relationship, and maybe that's what's going on there. But as far as it said that, hey, this sometimes happens and it's needed for growth, like I said, with the World card there, with the Death, this could be you shedding the skin, right? Again, maybe it's even in a relationship. You're always putting the other person first. And now you might be putting your foot down, asking more of them, right? And maybe that might cause a rift between the two of you, but ultimately, it looks like something that needed to happen anyway. There we go. All right, the prosperity message says, as you endeavor to create a prosperous life, you may encounter unexpected reversals that cause you to shift directions. This is a good thing, so there is nothing to fear. Perhaps an opportunity you sought went to someone else. Perhaps you've pursued something that you suddenly realize is not in your highest good. You might not be 100% clear on where you need to go, but you are certain that things are not going as planned. Circumstances are not in your control right now. Wait it out. All be well, even better, actually. Trust. So, as far as the wait it out thing, like I said, you'll probably feel a shift if nothing else, at least by the middle of the month when all those planets start to arrive in your sign, because there might still be a little bit of a fog going on with all of the 12th house stuff you'll have going on. But like I said, your ruler will be back in your sign mid-month along with Mercury, so that should definitely help with some clarity. Mars will be there pretty much in the early October, I believe, is when it shifts. So, and obviously the Sun towards the end of September too. So, worst case, it looks like it'll be temporary energy that should clear up as the month progresses. So I don't think it's going to be any long-term issues in that area. And like I said, we got a whole bunch of cards that came up from the Spirit Animal Oracle. So first one you guys got is Bee Spirit. It says, sweet results await. There's the artwork. Number is 7. All right, it says the Bee Spirit's message is that sweet rewards are on their way if you are willing to get your ego out of the way and immerse yourself in the connected energy of all things. Bee Spirit knows not to let a sense of being a separate self get in the way of a good thing. Spirit is always producing honey. Miracles and magic are everywhere. When you connect with the great hive, you are vibrating and buzzing in exquisite harmony with all. Bee Spirit asks that your focus be on connectivity. Your body, heart, soul, and psyche experience total interconnectedness and a true integration when you self-forget, when you remember that you are part of a greater unified consciousness. Moving from separation into connection, from self-centered limitation to spirit-centered infinite possibility and potential, you become busy as a bee, enjoying the gifts of Bee Spirit. Fully in alignment with your highest expression of yourself, your heart opens and creativity rushes through you seemingly without effort as you experience that nothing feels like work. Industriousness is driven by enthusiasm and inner motivation, and time seems to fly by quickly as the hive supports you in the making of honey. Do you feel the presence of your helpers in the hidden realms adding their energy to your creations? Magical results are taking form and will be sweeter than you expect. Bee Spirit wants you to remember that your part in the divine partnership with the conscious universe is being rewarded even if you can't see that yet, and ask that you share your good fortune as there is plenty of honey for all. Be a part of the larger whole, the force that brings forth all that is sweet and delightful. All right, so that was a lot there, but hopefully you guys got something from that. And the next one we had is Bobcat Spirit. It says life is a mystery. There's the artwork, and the number for this one is 8. All right, it says the Bobcat moves furtively and mysteriously, and when Bobcat Spirit appears to you, she brings a powerful reminder that not all things in life can be explained or understood through the power of intellect. Trying to figure things out, find logical explanations, or predict what will happen based on reason and facts will not provide you with the certainty and comfort you seek. Bobcat asks you to trust in the great mystery and let the secrets of the universe reveal themselves to you through direct experience. Allow your vision to slip into soft focus, and you will see between the lines and observe what has been hidden there all along. Bobcat Spirit helps you know intimately the pulse of the divine in the world. Trust in the wisdom and revelations that come to you, yet know that understanding may not come as you would like it to. What you experience through your heart and intuition, which comes to you as the voice of your inner knowing, will guide you now as you accept the secrecy that is woven in the fabric of existence. No matter what, the appearance of Bobcat Spirit is a sign that you are being called to trust, even when it is revealed, even when what is revealed does not agree with your need for intellectual certainty. So, in a way, that almost to me sounds like it resonated a little bit more with the vibe I was getting of the main spread, but hopefully, you guys are getting something from all the cards in some way, shape, or form. And the last one we have is Starfish Spirit. It says open to infinite possibility. There's the artwork, and the number is 59. Okay, it says stretched out on the beach, the starfish opens fully to the rays of the sun, to the power of potential. As you look toward the horizon, do you open up to infinite possibilities? Spirit is the source of opportunities beyond your wildest imagination and ensures endless possibilities are available. At this time, Starfish Spirit urges you to stretch past the limits of your everyday perception and comfort zone, to dream of bigger things and imagine with even greater hope and faith, for miraculous potential is shining down on you. Feel it, bask in it, and open yourself to be filled with inspiration. This is a very fortunate sign that Starfish Spirit has come to remind you of your infinite potential. So, definitely a pretty cool message there as well. And, it sounds like that supports that bit of risk taking energy that you seem to be in for whatever reason this month. So, hopefully, you got something from that as well. And lastly, we have a Mudra card. So, here's your Mudra for the month, and it's the Vishuddha Chakra Mudra. And the keyword for it is communication. I'll hold this up so you guys can, pause it or take a screenshot so you could read what it has to say. But it says improves the health of the thyroid and parathyroid glands and benefits the voice, reduces tension in the neck, improves communication with self and others, increases sensitivity to the thoughts and feelings of others. So if you feel like this will be something that would help you out, I'll put the name of this in the description as well. If you wanted to look into it further, we'll wrap up there, guys. Like I said, happy early birthday to those of you who celebrate toward the end of September, and I'll see you guys next month. All right.